so mean.
Allegedly.
Yeah, she could barely say that because her voice is.
I know my voice is so jacked up.
I think it's from just doing like 9 6-hour lives in a row. I think that might be what it is.
The stuff got me fired up, man.
Yeah, yeah. So
I've been out here debunking stuff all morning.
yeah, we're gonna try to do a call-in show this time. I know that's one of Chasing's favorite things. He tells me all the time, Gray, are we gonna be doing a call-in show soon?
Please.
Yeah.
Because I love it so much.
All right, so there's the we're experimenting with something here, where we're gonna try to see it because a lot of times when I've been doing it on my channel, when somebody calls in, it shifts everything around. But I think just before the show figured it out. So when you call in and discuss I guess it's the appearance of Candus and Don on the Dr. Phil show.
Yeah.
The two different shows, but this will be an opportunity for us to discuss it all together. And
what'd you think of it?
I thought Candace's behavior was a little strange. That's kind of what I think. That's sort of the gist of the entire 2 days. Was really they kind of were focusing in more on like her behavior. I know that like a lot of people think that it was reasonable, but to me it seemed a little over the top, given just the scenarios that were going on. I mean, she handled the conversation well, and then all of a sudden just starts bawling and walks out of that the first show.
Yeah, that's true, but there might be a reason for that.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I can discuss that.
What happened?
Reason,
man, my light just... Do you see that? I got blown out on the screen.
Are we allowed to say she's upset yet?
Yeah, I mean, she's probably been questioned about it 1,000 times. She's probably paranoid that they're trying to pin. I don't know. I actually can't really explain why when they talked about that mafia, which had already been talked about. Right. It had been talked about. They brought it up on the behavior panel interview with Don a long time ago, which you said again in a video.
Yeah, but people act like it was brand new. They act like the blue van was brand new, that she's just bringing up this stuff and making up lies when no, that's not true. These things were already talked about. And it was the behavior panel who brought up this, what's in their town called the cornbread mafia. Don didn't come up with some wackadoodle idea about these cornbread people. Yeah, but that's how people tried to make it sound,
Yeah.
And then, why is she talking about a blue truck? I thought it was a red truck. No. She's been talking about the blue truck since the beginning. So.
Well, why do you think? What do you think? Maybe she acted that way when that was brought up.
Let me see. Hold on, Gray. Insider info. No, kidding. I'm waiting to. Oh, I have bullshit. No. Damn it. There was a reason, but I can't talk about it yet.
Oh yeah.
It had nothing to do with that at all. Oh. Nothing to do with that, but I can't say why.
So she was just...
Which is so stupid.
Oh.
So stupid, and it's a very valid reason.
Why can't you say why?
Because the people who are in control of everything when it comes to the Wells won't allow it. I have no idea. It's so stupid, too. But it was a very valid reason why she was upset. It had nothing to do with that. But I can't talk about it anymore because I'll get in trouble.
Even on... can you say who you would get in trouble from?
People.
Is it a channel?
Nobody really, but I don't want to mess up anything.
Like a channel, right? So it's another.
No, not a channel. No.
No, it's just some high level something.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me later.
Secret business. But yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I don't even understand. I don't even understand what's going on. All I know, it was not because of the stupid cornbread mafia. So stupid.
Yeah. Well, did they know
I
that?
thought that was why, oh my God, we have a troll, Gray. Cornbread Mafia. Don't be afraid of us chasing. I'm dead.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we already have a troll called the Cornbread Mafia. Imagine.
Wow. Right off the get-go. But hey, you guys,
Somebody,
you need to call in
some,
and tell us what you guys think. So give it
yeah,
a
Cornbread
shot. It's not
Mafia.
hard.
Call in.
All right?
Call in, Cornbread guy.
Might be a real short show if you guys aren't calling in.
Yeah,
That's
that's
how it
true.
works. Somebody just has to have the guts to do it. You know what I mean?
Who's got the guts?
Well, gosh,
Oh,
we
better
don't
than
even
Mike's.
get to know the reason. Wow. So, how about those guys? I mean, did they know this reason too? The people on the show.
Yes, they did.
Well, how come they didn't make it sound like that then? Just for ratings? Yeah. Oh man, Jesus.
I know. I know. I shouldn't even said anything, but the whole Cornbread Mafia is so fucking stupid. I thought it was really that too. I was like, what? She's terrified of the mafia? Oh my God, what happened? No, so dumb.
Yeah.
Do they fight over pan style cornbread? It'll come out eventually, but the woman's going through a lot. That's all I'll say. She's dealing with a lot of shit, you know? Her kid's missing, and you're in front of Dr. Phil. Thanks, Mama She. I mean,
Huh? The phone number's on the screen. It's really big for everybody. Should be easy.
yeah,
I mean, can you see that? It's right there.
there's a number. It's pretty big.
Oh, I think somebody wants it. Well, they want it. Let me put it in the chat.
How long has she been missing now? Since June 15th. In 2 more days, it'll be 5 months.
There's the phone number there.
Maybe people are scared.
I guess I could.
They think
pin
you're
that.
mean, allegedly.
I'm not. That's just sort of the rumor that people say, and then it becomes fact. Oh, I heard Gray. Oh my God. Yeah. Here's what I mean to when you call in. Have you ruled out aliens? Well, then I probably won't be as kind. Okay.
We have not ruled out aliens yet.
But if you speak with just
Halen
talk
still
something
kicks. Why
reasonable.
mention anything if you're not going to discuss it? Because I was asking if it was okay to discuss. And I'm not going to discuss anything if it's going to cause issues. So that's why. Okay. And it's nothing major that you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, but
So.
I'm gonna be calling you later. So thank you.
So
Yep. Thanks, Mama She 13.
silly.
Somebody calling, 'cause I got to test this out to see if that what I just did fixes something. Yeah, I guess you could only do this with one person on, which makes sense.
Everyone's a suspect, so the aliens say. Listen, we ain't going to be sitting here staring at the damn screen. I'll tell you that right now. So call in.
Yeah, she's not feeling well, so she's coming on here just to do this for you guys, okay? And to do some more crap on her channel because I think she was dealing with, wasn't it sick last time too? There's something going on that, or
Kids
people were sick, yeah.
Yeah. Jace, his sicknesses are crazy. He gets like these high pitched fevers and then there's nothing. And then he woke up with a cough and now I've got whatever this voice thing is. I don't know what it is, but here it is. So
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much stuff that's gone on in the case right now. And the thing is I think we forget that interview was actually a while ago. I mean, that was actually probably close to the time where they made that stupid prank phone call,
like
right?
5 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit before that, I think. Maybe 2 months ago was that weird prank phone call. But
Yeah.
I mean, so since then, there's been all those other crazy videos at night, with people yelling and
Fighting, naked fighting.
Yeah, so that's kind of, it's weird too because I haven't really seen her with the long hair that much. So she's even had the long hair since back 6 weeks ago. Just let it grow back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's had it because you see pictures here and there, but
August was the call to Mary. Oh, that was a while ago then.
was it really?
Does Dr.
Wow.
Phil know? How do you think they do their shows, Gray? Do you think he has like his researchers go out and find out the information and just bring him what's relevant, or what? Because we do know for
Yeah.
sure the behavior panel knew about the stepsisters. So that leads me to believe that Dr. Phil did, but he didn't think it was connected to the case, so he didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
But the behavior panel did.
I'm not sure I believe when Dr. Phil said, I don't believe any of you guys did anything. I think he said that to make them feel more comfortable to at least speak and kind of make them at ease. Because if he believed that they weren't, had no chance of being involved, I don't think you're involved, then why did he ask them almost 2 minutes later, like, did you have anything to do with it? Okay, because he said the timeline absolutely cleared them, which was absolutely bogus. That didn't make any sense at all. The timeline did not clear anybody. There is no timeline. I mean, we still don't know what the timeline is. There's a whole bunch of time that could be missing. You know, how long was it really when Summer went back inside? Did that even happen? You know, like.
But didn't he say, I don't think you killed her, and I don't think you went and hid her body somewhere? I don't think he said.
Yeah.
You know, people have been really picking apart his statement, saying that he was very specific in the wording that he used, rather than saying, I don't think you guys were involved in any way. He just said, I don't think you killed her, and I don't think you hid her in the woods somewhere, or something like that.
I'm surprised he put that part in, because right before that I could see, okay, he's working in where an accident and you put her in the woods somewhere. Yeah, but then he said, but I don't think you put her in the woods somewhere.
Exactly.
So then where would you put her if it was an accident and you removed her? You know,
meeting ideas invalid, Grace, they're saying.
Oh, really?
Meeting
hold on a second. I'm going to have to change it. I thought I changed it, but then I switched screens, so. So it's my fault. Nobody was. Okay. Hold on a second.
I'll fix it.
Just a second. Yeah, I think he said that though to make them feel comfortable.
Possibly.
Because why would he? I mean, again, right after he said, "I don't think you have anything to do with it," he asked them, "Did you have anything to do with it?" He said that the timeline absolutely cleared them. That should work now, you guys. So try that one.
Yeah, he said, I don't think you killed or harmed your daughter. That's what he said. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then right after that, he said, did you do that?
Right.
So why would he do that?
Said, I don't think you did that. And then he said, did you do that?
Right. So why would, yeah, it's like
no.
He didn't even say, I don't think, well, it's like he said that the timeline proves basically that they didn't have anything to do with it, which really?
Well, remember, there are parts, I can verify that there are parts of the timeline that they cannot talk about. I've asked that myself, and they're like, there's stuff we're not allowed to talk about. So something else went on in there that we don't know. So maybe Dr. Phil's people found that out.
Who are you asking that you can't, when they tell you that they're not allowed to talk about that?
Great, you stop right now.
Okay, well, see, that's how my mind works, you know. Definitely will be on the phone later. Forget it. Oh, man. Hey, look at this. Let's see if it works. All right. We're just going to have to be able to do one at a time, so, you know, we don't do panels here, all right? So, let's try this one. Hey, it does work that way. Awesome. 425. You're on.
Yeah. Am I here?
No, you're not here. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, you are here.
Great. Killing me. Oh my gosh, that took so long to get in, and I was like, I tried like 5 times with the password, and then you're like, call in. I'm like, this guy is not.
Yeah, well, you got the right code. I switched screens, so it didn't have it on there. So there you go.
Thank you for giving it.
Hello? What do you got?
That's okay. We got it.
Now you're on the show. You're on live right now. Do you have anything that you wanted to talk about, or?
So yeah, Don and Candus, have you seen lately the, I watch everybody's channels, but there was I think Missing But Not Forgotten. Sometimes she has like, she like digs deep into like Facebooks and stuff like that I've been watching. And she came across something really disturbing recently. It was like a picture of a little girl in a bed and like this guy hovering over her. And
Yeah.
That picture was from May.
This guy was supposedly friends with on Facebook with everybody else and stuff. I just thought it was interesting.
But what do you have to say about the Dr. Phil interview, though? I don't want to do this wild, crazy speculation.
That's
stuff.
okay. Yeah, Dr.
So
Phil.
what did you think about the Dr. Phil show?
I think it was just it was just edited. The whole thing was made up. I mean, Dr. Phil produced the whole thing.
What do you mean edited? Well, of course they edit shows, but what do you mean? Like it's all made up? It's just fantasy land?
Well, first of all, Candus, I mean, her story is just a story. We don't have any facts to that whole day.
Well, there are some facts, but
we do have facts.
But there's some stuff that's not. The timeline is just the word of them, but there are some things that are real. Like the time of the photograph. Apparently, well, again, we don't actually get to see the metadata on the phone.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like after 3:00. I'm sorry.
True. We don't know for sure what happened after 3.
Yep. So
it gets really awkward after that part.
Yeah, and who's this calling in, by the way? Hello.
They don't want to share their name with you, Greg Hughes.
I'm gonna go to the next one. Thank you. Wow. Let's see. All right.
Yeah, there is a picture going around. It's from May, and it's weird.
618. You got to turn down your audio from the video. You can only just use your phone.
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
Hi. Oh God, I'm so shocked that I'm actually on here. I'm just calling in. I'm just so baffled by this whole thing. I mean, and Dr. Phil's, show did not help at all, in my opinion.
What baffled you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they've always looked suspicious, and I always kind of lean towards thinking that, maybe they are innocent. Maybe this is just so hyped up YouTube and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm just saying that I really felt Candus when I don't know the reason why she cried. You've got me thinking now, some other reason, but all I know is I watched her face, and I felt like, oh my God, take the lady's mic off. She wants out of there. I really felt like she was trying to flee, and I, whatever it was, she seemed very scared. And since Casey can't tell us, I guess we won't know about that. Was there a good reason for her to be scared? Is that what you're saying, Jason?
So she wasn't scared, and I don't want to misrepresent what I'm saying. She was very emotional that day. Keep in mind, people are searching for her child. So she may be getting information and then being let down and then being talked to again. And, there's communication going on. This is an active investigation at all times. So it wasn't just, we're getting ready to film. And keep in mind how some people do a show. There's segments, then they cut. They showed it today on their website, on their YouTube channel. Candus is standing there and they're like, okay, walk. So she walks and they're like, okay, cut. So you're getting bits and pieces kind of put together. I can't say exactly the reason, but she had reasons for being upset. And in my opinion, it had nothing to do with the cornbread mafia.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It just seems like whatever this ends up in the end, we're all going to be shocked. That's how I feel. It's going to be
Well, I think it's going to be
Just
shocking
something
when you know, like if it's not Candace or Dawn have anything to do with it, it'll be shocking to people because so many people they think that they did it, and they, you know, here's the weird part about it, as I never got the vibe from either one of them that they killed her. I've always just the thing that my number one theory has always been that something happened, and then Candace and the grandmother perhaps came up with something
I'll be right back.
to hide her body somewhere, because it would have only taken like 20 minutes, and you know that's sort of like my number one theory, but it's not even that strong. It's like, you know, 50%, and then maybe 40, and then there's like 30% that she was abducted, and then, you know, I don't, you know, it's so random. But I never got the heebie-jeebie, like, oh my God, Don, you know, other than when the sexual assault. We don't have to say SA, everybody. You can actually say the word sexual assault. That's just a YouTuber who started that, and everybody chimed in. We got to use the actual words so we don't dumb it down. All right. So when we found out that he did have some sexual assaults that he admitted to, you know, he kind of blames a little bit on the relatives. You know, it's I mean, which is ridiculous in itself.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you started thinking, well, you know, God, that's kind of weird. However, none of those were his actual biological family members, and that actually does it makes a difference in some way. Not that you know, that's not a qualification on it. Is it better or worse? It's just saying that if he had had sexual contact with a biological sister of his, man, I would be like, okay, now he has the propensity to do this even to his own daughter. Okay, but it wasn't that. It was people that he wasn't related to.
I mean, whatever happens in the end of this, whether they're innocent or guilty, I mean, for sure, their lives seem like they're ruined, you know. And if they are innocent of anything to do with her missing, you know, it's a shame, you know, it really is.
Yeah. I think the best thing that would happen is she just shows up and somebody had kidnapped her, and then we look back at all of the treatment and behaviors of all these, you know, so-called super sleuths on the internet, and how shameful it was, how they acted. But they'll still make it seem like it was okay. They'll justify it by saying, well, I mean, it's Don's fault. Look at the way... You know what's weird, though, is a lot of the beliefs about both of them are because of people on social media. Like, if they had never gone on anybody's lives or anything like that, there'd be just some rumors and stuff like that. But, you know, these are people that don't really have... it's not the typical lifestyle that, you know, that most of us are accustomed to, but it's common.
Right.
They have a very dysfunctional relationship, and of course, you know, and they drink and so forth. So if you put them on a show, it's going to turn into a nightmare, but it'll be used for everybody. Look at that! Look! You know, and it just I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like at this point you just can't believe anything you hear, and that's really sad, you know, for Summer.
Yeah.
And I sit around and watch all the shows and everything, and I love Chasing because, you know, she don't really go for that stuff. You know, all these crazy ideas, so she always centers me again, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I don't really cover it because there's really nothing new other than this new, this new interview. So that's something to talk about. But I don't really. Yeah, but I like to cover. There's a whole bunch of other cases out there that need attention, so I cover those.
True.
Right.
But it's just so crazy of all this little integral stuff that people are putting out, like true crime commentary. You know, they're pointing towards something, you know, and I don't see like Chasing ever talking about that point of it. But like Penny from True Crime Commentary, she seems to be a very good person for looking up facts and putting out facts and sticking with facts. And I don't see anybody else really discussing the things that she says. Do you watch her?
No, I don't. I just do my own thing, really.
Yeah.
I don't like. See, the thing is, I don't really. There's only a couple people. Like, if Chasing put something out, I would think that she probably looked in it. But I really, like most people, I just think are putting stuff out for sensationalistic reasons, and I really don't have any. I don't have any faith. Like the person you just mentioned, I have no clue who that is. I don't really care or anything like that. So.
Right.
Okay,
and I want to say one more thing before I go, and I save this for last because I don't want to make you mad. But what does that one guy, Grass, have against you? He's always putting out these ridiculous videos. I'm like, what is this about?
Oh, he's a psycho. Yeah, that guy is just absolutely nuts. That individual. That he put out a video probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago. Completely inaccurate, stuff out of context. Because on my show I'll talk a certain way, and look at this, and so he put this whole thing together, and he claims these things about me, and then we settled it. Everything was done, and then he emailed me asking me to do something for him, and I said, I don't want to work with you, man. So he got butt hurt, and he put another video out. It's just the guy's he's a child. So anyway,
I know he's like obsessed with it now. You're like in every little video he does, flashing on there.
He's a stalker.
It's funny.
Yeah, he's like a stalker.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go. It's nice talking to you. I love you, Chasing, and I will let you get on to your next call.
All right.
Bye.
All right. See you. Bye. We got so many over here. Can you see?
Bye. Sorry, I had to mute.
All right.
We have stuff going on with teenagers in this house right now.
When you're done with the call, you just there you go. 803, you're on. Got to turn down your radio.
Hang on, hold on.
Or not the radio. Turn down your radio. See how you could hear myself like 10 seconds later? You should always just be listening.
Sorry. Hey, guys, first of all, I want to say I love you guys, both of you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Everything you've done, especially with the Bibb County John Doe recently, awesome. But I was just thinking with this case, I felt the same way since way before all this happened, was that Candus seems to be, there's a piece of that puzzle missing. And I don't really feel like she has anything to do with it, kind of like everybody else, but there's something missing, something she's not saying. I mean, do you guys agree with that?
Well, I think she's definitely the one she is the last person.
Something out or something weird.
I mean, she's the one, if anybody's going to know something, it's her or the kids. Right? And the grandma, I guess, because she was there too. But it seems like Candus claims to have walked her to the house, then, part of the way, and then made sure she was in there, and then went back, helped the grandmother out, then went back in, and she talks about how right when she went in, she checked to see where Summer. I don't believe that at all. Okay, I don't think most people. I
agree with you. Listen, if that had happened in 2 minutes, Summer would have had to walk in that door, down the stairs, and out the back door immediately.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that not true?
Yeah, I mean, a minute. It might take only a minute to get downstairs, but. Yeah,
but I mean, that just seems too much to me. So
I agree with that part. Missing. I think there is a ton of time. She's basically, I think what she's doing is she's playing the part of a really doting mom who is just always chasing, Summer around to make sure she's okay every second.
And I think she needs to let go of that a little bit and just tell us everything. Yeah. Because I don't think she necessarily had anything to do with it, but I think you need to let go of the doting mother and just let's lay it out there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Benita up there just said, "Gray Hughes, I just lost all respect for you. You minimized SA. Shame on you. Love chasing. Ooh. Hey, listen, idiot. I said it's okay to say sexual assault on a show because you're dumbing it down when you call it SA. Okay." I believe
exactly. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to take. Well, so I have to finish this. I have to do all these calls.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think something just happened with my daughter. So
Oh man, that's
I'll
why she wasn't
message you.
around. Okay. Well, if you
I'll message you in a minute.
well, you can mute it. Maybe you can come back.
Oh, I don't think
Oh
so.
my God.
Okay.
I
All right.
both will.
Okay. See you
Not
later.
good
All right.
for
See you
her.
later.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I really don't have much else to say about that. And good luck texting.
Yeah. Good
I
luck.
don't have much else to say about that.
Be safe.
It's just, I just feel like there's a piece missing, and I
Yeah,
wish you
lots
would.
of stuff
I
going
wish
on.
you would bring it out.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think that the person in the chat absolutely misunderstood what I said. I said you're dumbing it down to call it that. You should call it what it is. Okay. So I don't know what that person's talking about. They seem like a crazy person. All right. So let's see.
Okay, well, I will see you there in the chat. I'm always watching. I'm not always chatting. I'm on the East Coast, so sometimes I fall asleep, but it's not because you're not interesting. It's because
Well, it's
the
too
music,
late.
the Linus Blakett music and the soothing voice, it's like crash and catch you the next morning.
That's what I try to do. I try to make people fall asleep when they watch my show.
No, but not really.
Yeah.
But thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Oh wow, look at that. When nobody's on here. So I don't know. I hope you guys don't think that I was trying to say something. I just think it was ludicrous that everybody started calling it that after one particular YouTuber changed it to that. I like to just say things for what they are instead of trying to dumb them down because somebody said something. All right. I think you guys should. I hope you guys agree with what I just said. I know there's a few psychos that, I don't even know how their brain's working, but I explained it absolutely the way I wanted to. All right, so here we go. 913, you're on.
Hello.
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 Welcome to the show. How's it going?
This is Karen from Kansas City.
Karen from Kansas. All right, what's going on?
Well, I did watch the Dr. Phil and caught everything.
Oh yeah. And what did you think about it?
And she is definitely emotionally triggered by things deep within her heart that nobody can get at.
Yeah.
And whether she did something to Summer by accident.
Yeah, you think something happened to her by accident? Are you
Could be.
Well, there's
either that or she.
Let me ask you something. There's these long delays after each of your sentences. Are you listening to something else or the phone?
No, I don't have anything on.
Oh, okay. So
Can I
thinking,
put the video off?
Yeah, you don't want to be listening to the video because that's like 8 or 9 seconds behind what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, I can't hear well, maybe it is the video. Hold on.
Well, no, I'm hoping you're just listening to your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you think that maybe something happened accidentally, and then what happened after that?
Yeah, I think maybe so. Either that or she just wandered off, or she was taken. The doctor went to the road, and that was that.
Now your phone's, you can hardly even hear what you're saying. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to move on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but just focus really quickly on what you want to say. I got a whole bunch of callers. I got 5 more waiting.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just caught it. She's not your average Joe. She's got definitely some mental things going on there, whether it's because of the drugs and the alcohol, overuse of that, and but I just don't get that they did something to Summer. I just really believe she was taken, you know, and so, and like I said, the dog scent went all the way to the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hard to. I mean, the thing is right now we don't really. Dogs make mistakes too. That's one of the issues. They're not 100%. So when people rely on everything that a dog scents, you know, we don't really know if they're accurate.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But definitely, she's got a lot of baggage going on, and you know, there's something not right with her mentally, and but that doesn't make her guilty of doing something to Summer on purpose, and it doesn't, you know, doesn't say she's innocent either. So I don't know. I hope she's found alive, but I'm having doubts about that.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not likely because just given statistically, but you never know. There's other cases, just like the Cleo Smith in Australia. I mean, yes.
Also, Elizabeth Smart.
Yeah.
Was it that was taken? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She made it home.
Yes,
but anyway, I don't know. It just she wasn't triggered by the cornbread thing. I believe it was building up as she was sitting there, and then something in her mind just went click, and she started to lose it and
maybe it was just maybe there was something going on, and then the timing. Because right before that, she was already starting to cry before that was even mentioned. So,
yes,
absolutely, that might not have been the trigger. There was already something building. So, all right.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my chat.
Well, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. No, I'm not grumpy, but here's the thing. When there's people in the chat that say stuff that is totally bogus, like a minute ago, what I said was that it's true, too. That what I'm telling you is true, that if there's sexual assault with a child and the person normally, is the assaults are with people that aren't related to them, then it's less likely that he would do that to one of his own kids, and yet that does still happen. It's obvious. I mean, see, what people do, that when you say something out loud, they listen to it and they want to use their moral superiority complex to find any way that doesn't fit exactly what they want to believe. Yes, you can have a relative that sexually assaulted you. I'm saying, though, that it's, I'm not going to explain it again. It's really obvious. It's true. I even looked it up, and you can do what you want with it. All right, so here we go. 718. Hello.
Hi. Hi. Yes.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Kiana. So I was just I didn't really get to see the Dr. Phil show, but I did see clips and watched it on other YouTubers' channels.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that with Dr. Phil interviewing the parents, I thought that it led us really back to the same way as if we were allowing the dogs to take us on a trail. It really didn't give us that much information. I don't know if that makes sense. And so, but I believe that the exposure is good for Summer Wells, so that way we can find her. Another thing is that is very significant, I believe, is Rosemary, the sister of Candus. And the reason why I feel like this is important is because of a policy for presumption of death of a missing person. With that policy, when a child or someone is missing for over 7 years, I believe that the family receives some type of benefits. And with Summer Wells going missing at the age of 5, imagine if we find her at the age of 12. You know what I'm saying? To where they could have possibly, allowed her to move across the country or something like that, to where the trail, because how far can you really go, you know, with the dogs around? And even though we don't believe, or maybe we cannot sometimes trust the instinct of a dog, but one thing you can understand is that even when the gentleman came to Candus and Don's house, the dogs responded as well too by coming up the stairs. So it shows the familiarity that the dog has to the home. So maybe someone, you know, knew that and gave the dog some type of food or something like that. And also too, I thought it was kind of interesting that the same way that the dog trail scent was where the dogs couldn't pick up Summer Wells scent anymore, that I believe that was the same way that Don was coming in. I believe he came in that back way as well too, but I mean, I'm not accusing the parents of what happened to their child. Hopefully we find her and we find her soon, you know, before the age of 12, you know, because a lot of things do go on. And as you mentioned before, like Cleo, Cleo was with someone who was infatuated with Bratz dolls. And so, you know, although you do not know, you know, what people are capable of doing, I do kind of feel like, you know, it's a lot of loopholes inside of the story when you look at Don Wells' past and then you look at Candus' sister going missing as well too. And I'm just trying to find a balance as to out of all of the houses, out of all of the places, they choose this particular house. And it was interesting because Candus said that her and grandma was outside and Candus was fixing the grandmother's brace, knee brace or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, when I look at that and I see that they never found, you know, their sister Rosemary, and again, just reiterating, you know, I don't know if the family received any, you know, the policy for the presumption of a death of a missing person, you know, the program of operations manual system through Social Security. So I don't know what that is like. I'm, you know, the process or so like that. But it's very interesting that through the loopholes, a lot of things are coming out about the family. And although you cannot judge someone of their past, but if you look at someone's pattern, or if you look at, you know, with anyone's pattern, you build a case around, you know, evidence that leads to.
I'm just not sure what I'm not sure what you're talking about, like money, these monthly money, you know, money coming in for her being missing. You know, you mentioned like you know, after a while you can maybe legally declare somebody dead or whatever, but you were talking about something prior.
Yeah,
it just didn't make a lot of sense.
So I didn't know if the family through. What I'm trying to say is that through the policy for presumption of death of a missing person, does the family receive money?
Well, I mean, if they had an insurance policy on her.
Okay.
We don't
See,
know.
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was saying that I didn't know, but I was highlighting that as saying that I don't know if the grandmother took the same steps and took out a policy on her child after she went missing. Is that possible?
I don't think any insurance company would do that. That'd be ridiculous for them to do that. Statistically.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no way an insurance company would let you take a policy out on a missing child in case she died or something. No way. But anyways, well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. You have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Not sure what's going on here with this. Forever Focused, or whatever your name is. What do you got? Oh, man. Hold on. I'm not sure what's going on, but you got to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, hello, you alright?
Hello? Yeah, I couldn't understand what you said. What's going on?
Hello, yeah. I'm calling from London, England.
Okay, yep. What's going on?
I'm just from Folkestone in England. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're waiting for you to talk. You're...
Cool, yeah. My opinion is, I just feel really sorry for them. I watched the Dr. Phil thing as well. It's not really popular here in England, but me and my fiance, we've been following it from day one. My personal opinion, she's got a different opinion to me, but my personal opinion is I feel very sorry for them. I don't think they've had anything to do with it. The cornbread mafia reaction, the reaction that she gave, that was a bit weird. Don't get me wrong, but I'll still give them the benefit of the doubt. They've lost their child. They've had their kids taken off of them, the boys taken off of them. Yeah, he's been a bit stupid and he's turned to drink, but fuck it, wouldn't you? You know, he's been through a stressful time. She's just a bit dumb, isn't she? I don't think she's
a dumbass.
You know, she doesn't really bode well in front of...
All right, we're gonna have to. I don't know what's going on. It was cool what you're saying, but whoever that was in the background, you know, get a life, okay? So that's so stupid. All right, let me get the next one here. You can always tell when there's idiots that are calling in. All right, 501. I don't care if it was his girlfriend or not. He's not gonna. They're not staying on after that. All right, 336. You ready?
Yes, I am.
What's going on? What do you got for us, Dr. Phil? Anything?
Hi. First of all, originally when I thought Candus reacted to the mafia, I thought that maybe it was her dealer, and she thought that maybe her dealer had taken Summer. But the other thing is, I think there's a lot of questions that have to be asked that I thought the Dr. Phil would ask. I really was kind of upset about the way the show went, and I don't really know why he had the interview panel on again. I think we need to know if Hunter did go back to the house after.
Yeah. How would he get there?
After that, if he did go back to the house that day.
How would he get there?
Remember, he had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. So he has a girlfriend, and they're going to want to. But why would he? He has a girlfriend. They're going to go over to the house and abduct Summer somehow, or?
No, let me finish.
Okay.
Okay. Say he went back to the house. I've had so many theories on this. Summer. Okay, let me finish.
Well, I am. You're.
Okay.
I'm not.
Summer,
are you? Wait. Let me ask you. Are you listening to the video? Because I wasn't talking, and you said let me finish a second time.
But I can't hear you for some reason if I don't.
Well, you just call in the number.
Oh, now I can. Okay, now I can. Okay, because one of my theories, and I have many, is Summer trust Hunter, Allie, and I don't know about the girlfriend. But if, say, the girlfriend was parked at the bottom of the hill, remember there was a conflict between Allie and Candus over Jose. Because originally they came from New York, and they ended up being 12 of them. Jose stayed, and he was with Allie, and supposedly Candus ended up either sleeping with him or something. Allie got pissed off. They didn't talk. Now think about it. They didn't talk for months, and all of a sudden Hunter calls Candus to pick him up. I'm wondering if it could be payback, if it's not Candus or
Payback
Ron
for
that
what,
did
though?
anything.
Payback for what, though? I mean,
For the fact that she screwed her over with Jose.
okay, but what did the
'Cause I don't
what,
trust-
yeah, but what did the girlfriend have to do with it? You brought her up.
No,
right?
I'm saying the girlfriend was the person that was at the bottom of the hill, or even Robin. I'm thinking more Robin, to be honest with you. But I don't know.
Okay,
I've never seen anything
but now you brought up Robin. What does Robin have to do with Allie?
Well, that's what I'm. Okay, I'm saying this threesome. Consider this threesome. Okay, of either Allie, Hunter, and Robin, or Allie, Hunter, and the girlfriend in cahoots.
No.
Either to protect Summer. I really want to think it would, if it's possible. I'm saying this is just a thought. To protect Summer, knowing how bad her life was. Because when Chris McDonough interviewed them, remember they talked about how she made the boys lay on the gravel, on the hot gravel?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember that part, actually. Sorry.
And then that friend of Allie's flipped the pool over, and I mean, everybody knew what a terrible life those kids had.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean,
So-
I think a lot of times what happens in some of these cases, just to be honest, is like people, they get like a thought in their head, and then they have this imagination that goes so far out there. I'm not saying that some of the other people you mentioned, Robin sort of that's some of that interesting information with the vehicle and everything, but I think people put these stories together in their minds and try to make it work because it's makes it sort of interesting. Everything you just said, I have a hard time like making sense of that. Having Allison be so upset that she's going to abduct Summer.
Either abduct to protect, or I'm not saying to hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing is, the other theory that I had was, what if it's true about Candus and H, that they did have a relationship, and he either did go back, and they just said he didn't, to the house, because Don wasn't there. Don was at work. And something was happening, and she just wasn't watching Summer, didn't want to tell anybody she wasn't watching Summer, because we know she wasn't a mother that's going to walk Summer to the porch. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean,
Not
my old picture of the whole, I don't even think that happened. I mean, they might have planted flowers or whatever. Summer would have just gone back in by herself, and they live out there. They wouldn't expect any danger or anything like that. There'd be no reason for her to go into the house to make sure she's okay. You got the kids in there. It's a small house. There's no reason that she would need to do that, but she's saying it to make it seem like she's right there, and that's what made me originally think that there might be a situation that happened to Summer because she wants to make sure everybody knows that she was so doting. But why would you want it? Why do you need to do that? Why? See, the story doesn't need to have all that in there, except it was put in there because there's like guilty conscience of something that she wants everybody to know how doting she is. Right?
She wasn't paying attention.
So that's my opinion
she was
on
doing
it.
Something else.
Yeah, and also, like, if she was abducted, there could have been like a 2-hour window, and people would start going, "Well, God, why weren't you watching her?" And I would have defended her on that and said, "Well, why would you be watching somebody on a, you're living up on this hill?" So that's what I think, right?
Because I'll be honest with you, if I lived there and I consider myself a good mom,
Mm-hmm.
I actually probably I wouldn't walk her over to the stairs, but I'd make sure she went in the house. But I mean, I wouldn't go back and check on her and make sure she was okay. I mean, look where you live.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a good mom. So, I mean, most moms wouldn't do that at that age. You know what I mean? If she was 2 or, you might go back and check and make sure that she didn't come out the door again.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I just don't buy it that she went in there. I think there was
So
just...
it's either somebody, I don't know. And the other thing that ever since day one, there's something with her stopping at that hippie house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they owed somebody money.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
don't
think
know.
that hippie house is some kind of drug.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from North Carolina, so I'm thinking way different than these people are.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. But anyways.
And I'm from Massachusetts before that, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the crazies or they're the crazies,
Yeah.
I really don't.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to get this other call, but
anyway.
I appreciate you calling in. Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night. Bye. All right, you guys, I got to go use the restroom and suck down 97 shots of tequila. Thank you. Hey, don't you guys like the just dead silent like that? Now let me get this. Hold on. How do I fix this? And by the way, I don't understand. Like some of you were like, "Oh, that caller, the guy from Britain." Look, if you're gonna have a loudmouth idiot like that in the background, you're not gonna stay on the show. Okay? That would have just kept on going. Okay? It's and I am always going to remove those people. I just want rational people that think, and we're struggling on that. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get something fixed over here. Come on. Oh, we got some more callers. Hey, there we go. That works. And now we can play. I could play some music if I ever left again. See? Oh yeah, everybody. All right, next call. Where is that one? I think it was this one. All right, next call. Hello, 256.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, I have a few questions maybe you could answer, Gray.
I gotta hope so.
Okay. First question is, they said the dog picked up Summer scent down that trail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means Summer walked down that trail, or because I'm not understanding.
Yeah, well,
She has to be.
It's not they. Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to be on foot or something, right? I guess.
Right, because they were, trying to reenact it by carrying big bags of dog food and whatnot, and I just didn't understand that. So she would have to be with her feet on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any sort of remnant, like stagnant air scent that a dog can pull out in a wooded area like that. I don't really know, but I think generally they're looking at the footprints. But I mean, when you're in shoes, let's say you're in shoes though, and you're walking, the sole of the shoe is rubber, right? So why would it? I mean, I don't even know why that would be a scent of her.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a barrier. If it was barefoot, then I could see it, but.
Yeah, but they said she was possibly barefoot.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's what they say, is that she was barefoot. Yeah, but
right.
Did she go down that trail after a dog, and then somebody down there picked her up? And it's just about a million different scenarios. But that's if you believe that dogs are 100% accurate, and they're not, and they're just not. Though that's the thing. They're often I mean, I bet you they're more accurate than not, but they're not 100% whatsoever.
True. No telling how many times Summer had been down that trail,
Yep.
Obviously. Okay, my next question is, the neighbor, the brown girl, Jody Brown. Okay, she says she's seen a red vehicle go up. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a one-way in and one-way out.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone heard if she's seen the vehicle come back out?
I haven't heard that anybody said another vehicle came out. I've never even heard that somebody saw a red vehicle drive up the driveway. I heard that there was one on the road down there by the mailboxes. But
if I understood correctly, she said she's seen it go up and thought it was, the Subaru that belonged to the Wells. But then she realized that it wasn't, but she'd never said she'd seen it come back out. That I have knowledge of anyway.
What did you think of the Dr. Phil episode?
The Dr. Phil, well...
Episodes with an S.
Well, I know a lot of people's not going to agree with my thoughts, but I will tell you, if we go back to the first time the news interviewed Candus An Don in their yard, when these are the only two times I've seen Candus break down. He said, it's hard for her to say to see her sons cry about their sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when they bring up something about her having knowledge of hiding something, just, and her never breaking eye contact for real with Dr. Phil. When they say cornbread mafia, do you know this or that? I just think one of the boys, honestly, in my heart, think one of the boys hurt Summer. They're covering it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my thought.
Yeah, it's possible. Protecting one of the kids, and they would have been also considered negligent by not watching and allowing a kid to accidentally hurt her.
And of course, when something like that happens, they immediately drug test, whoever who's the caregiver of the children at that time. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 more calls I gotta go do.
I'm off here.
But you brought them in. You brought them in because there was only 2 when you called, and then bam. So You were like
You're
a.
gonna have a busy. You're gonna have a busy life.
I guess so. All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Bye. All right, I just locked the meeting because I think after I get through these, I'm gonna have to get out of here. Got a lot of weirdos in the chat too. It's bizarre. 313, you're on.
Hi. So one of my theories would be that we heard that she slipped and fell into the lake, correct?
Well, yes. I don't believe that at all, but yeah, that's what they claimed. Yep.
I believe, well, maybe she did, and we all know not to let our child go to sleep right after.
Right after what?
She let her. Right. So I think she went to sleep in the back of the truck, and she left her in there. Summer's asleep. Let's go about our day. Summer's asleep in the truck. They went on for a while. When she went to go wake Summer up, that's probably the scream that Jody heard. She realized, crap, Summer's not waking up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you say slip, what are you claiming happened to her when she slipped in the water?
That she could have possibly hit her head.
Yeah, but I mean, it's underwater, right? So, I mean, it would have really minimized. Here's the thing is, Hunter tries to sound like he's the superhero, where he was standing there, saw her go under, and he dove in the water and pulled her out. Well, we see the actual video of that instance when he went in the water. He walks in and Summer's just playing. It never happened. None of that stuff happened. And then even he said, well, how long was it that she was under? Oh, I don't know, 10 seconds, maybe 15. And then he was asked, was she spitting up water? And he goes, no, she wasn't spitting up water. Listen, if you go underwater and you inhale, their only issue was that when she went underwater, that maybe she inhaled water and they came up with this stupid drowning theory. Okay, so there was never a concussion element to it. And so when she went underwater, he claims that, she inhaled water, but when asked, did she spit up any water, he said no. Well, that means she didn't inhale a damn thing. Because if any of you out there have inhaled water before, you can't help but to cough and hack up continuously for minutes. And that didn't happen. So we know that she didn't inhale water. Now, did she hit her head and we just don't know about it? Maybe.
Right. That's my speculation. Did she hit her head? Maybe nobody noticed. Nobody was really aware. They let her fall asleep. And when she went to go wake her up, an hour later, Summer didn't wake up. And Don also went down that trail when he went in the Subaru to show us which way he came on that day, which is the same trail where the dog trail ended.
Mm-hmm.
So if she called Don and said, hey, Summer's not waking up, what do I do? Maybe he hurry up, got there, went up that back way where nobody's seen, took her out of there.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, she would have been carried, right?
Right.
So I'm not sure how the...
So which would have been put into a vehicle and then the scent would have stopped.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess... I mean, see, here's the thing is the whole thing the story that you came up was based on something that has nobody's mentioned anything about a concussion. So we're doing have you ever watched that show Ancient Aliens, where you start off with a shaky premise and then you move forward continually as if the original one was true, and you keep going forward, and by the time you get to the end, it doesn't have a very good chance of being true. I mean, it's possible. Like, we're all speculating at a certain point here because, even when I say, gosh, maybe she, after she went downstairs, went over to the swing that Candus keeps mentioning all the time, and maybe something happened to her over there, and then somebody when they found out about it, the kids didn't know because they were playing video games, and she said that many times that they wouldn't have heard anything. And so then maybe at that point she takes off for 20 minutes, and then comes, with talking after talking to her grandmother. I mean, see, that's all speculation too. I'm just trying to use some stuff that has been said to come up with it. Assuming that
I feel like their story is very pre-rehearsed. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not changed, not a bit. Like, when you say a story and then you repeat it, like there's little parts that are different.
Yeah, I think it's weird that they keep
been so precise,
and yet they all say exactly the same part about. Summer was playing with the flowers, and then then she wanted to have. Then she washed her hands, because wow, we're such great caregivers that we made her wash her hands first, and then she was able to eat this piece of candy, because we're also like, we want her to be happy. So this whole thing, like, listen now, doesn't it just sound contrived, the entire thing? Planting flowers. Wow, how homey and just so, almost, just idyllic.
Perfect.
It's like idyllic. And then she wanted to go, we washed her hands. Then we gave her a piece of candy, and, clouds were opening up and the sun was beaming in. And I walk her over to the house. And then just 2 minutes later, after helping my grandma with her knee brace, I mean, look at all the stuff that I'm doing. That's just amazing. I go back over there and she's just gone. You see, that's the part that the whole story just sounds too good to be true almost, going up to that point. It doesn't match what we see in them, right?
They're also not as smart, I don't think, to come up with that story as well as they did. And she also called Robin and Dotson to come there. They were on scene. I think maybe they would have given her maybe that story.
Yeah. So, well, you never know. Maybe
you can only pray that
your theory could be your theory could be true. There was just no mention that she hit her head somewhere.
Right. It's not been mentioned. It's just my speculation.
Yeah. So you'll have to win an award of some sort if that turns out to be the true story. All right.
I'll let you get on to your next call. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 567.
Hey, Greg.
Hello. Who's this?
Hey, it's Steph May. How are you?
Not too bad. What's going on?
Good.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had a couple things.
Oh, it's Steph May is what you said.
I
right?
wanted to say.
Steph May, right?
Yeah, Steph May.
I thought you said Stephanie. Yeah. I was like, what? Maybe that's your real name, but.
Oh, heck no. No, that's not my real name.
Okay.
Ooh-wee. So everybody, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that kept bringing up Allie. And I don't know anything about Allie, but I feel like this. I feel like people are putting so much stock in Allie going to abduct Summer or some type of revenge thing. But when I think back on, Allie found out that her daughter wasn't treated good there. There was something that happened, and she got forced to sleep in the back of a truck. And then there was the incident with finding out that Hunter was drinking beer. If Allie didn't go over there and say something or do something or pull her mom card out about those things, then there's no way in heck that she would go over there and try to, abduct Summer. I think that Allie knows that Candus would have whooped her ass. That's my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
So I think that's kind of out there. I mean, I believe Candus would have wiped the floor with Allie, but anyway.
By the way, everybody, hold on. But this is the legendary Steph May on the phone here, the 5 foot, 100-pound train conductor. There you go. Anyway,
yeah,
pretty amazing. All right,
that train whooped my butt.
Yeah. Well, then
the other thing,
yeah, go ahead.
My back is still a mess. So with Dr. Phil, I used to watch Dr. Phil like all the time, and sometimes I still catch a show every now and then, but I'm not like a dedicated Dr. Phil goer. But one thing that I think has like totally thrown this case in a long time is when people start throwing out like body language analysis and body language experts and stuff. Like I never really understood what the intention for that was, because you would think that that would be like law enforcement stuff, not for the public. I mean, based on what these analysis people, and not just the four.
Well, they're basically teaching people what not to do, right? Yeah.
They are, yeah. And not only that, but like, so based on what they said, and don't get me wrong, I never even thought about any kind of body analysis stuff, but like when my son died, based on what these guys have said about Candus and Dawn, I would have been number one suspect in my own son's death, because, you know, standing at his casket, hugging people, smiling, you know, listening to stories and things like that would have been dead on that I had something to do with my own son's death. Or, you know what I mean? It was a tragic accident, nothing malicious or nefarious. So I just never understood the intention of going on, you know, like a big platform and tearing people apart when people just aren't the, you know, they're not the same. Like clearly Don and Candus are not from inner city, big city, you know, they're their own people. They have their own walk, their own cup of tea. And I think it's terrible when all of a sudden people jump on it's the parents' fault. With every case that comes up now, you got more people that are saying the parents are guilty. Somebody did something to the parents. Well, I mean, now we've got parents that won't even talk. I wouldn't talk. Something happened to one of my kids or my granddaughters. The last thing you might see me talking to Gray Hughes, but I would not be talking to no damn body else, because they get ripped to shreds. I mean, these people are parents. If they're guilty of something, law enforcement will find out, and then the public will know.
Yeah, but I've been telling people they need to have a class in college or high school, maybe even, you know, when we all learned how to type and stuff back in the day, keyboarding now probably, FFF, JJ, you know. But they need to teach people how to act in an interview if something tragic happens to you, so that the social media wacko, you know, super sleuthy people out there don't look at every little blink and twitch as a sign of guilt. Don't you think?
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, are they good people? I don't know. I'm in no position to judge Don and Candus. I mean, everybody talks about the sexual assault. Everybody talks about, like, if that's true, then he's a bag of shit, and he deserves to be under the prison. If Candus is involved in something nefarious with her daughter or her son, she's a bag of shit, needs to be under the prison. Rip them apart then. But I think that in the meantime, you know, supporting them, you don't have to support them, you don't have to like them, but does it make you feel good to go on a platform and tear them apart and come up with all these lies and rumors or spread them? What do you get out of it? What's the intention behind it? And as far as behavioral analysis goes, I don't feel like that can apply today to every single person. So I really appreciate and respect that Chasing and you are the only people, the only YouTubers, the only people covering this case that have been consistent from beginning to end, that only puts out, you know, the facts. You might go a little down the road of speculation until you hit a bump that says, no, this makes it not possible. And then, you know, you back up. Everybody else, you know, I hope that they're ashamed of themselves. And at the end of the day, whenever we do find out what happens to Summer, God hope that she's alive and she's being taken care of. If not, then I hope she's, you know, in heaven riding dirt bikes with my son. But at the end of the day, people that are tearing these people apart, I hope that they not only get their YouTube channels taken apart, but I hope people hold them accountable for the mess that they've created, because they've really created a mess. It's not about views. It's about a little girl.
Yeah, well, Chasing knows a lot more of the little, you know, the details that are going on in the background. And, you know, sometimes those make a difference, but some stuff I don't really care about. Like, you know, I just don't really care about the little inside drama and who said this and that, because it's not really related to the case itself. I think the case is really the information that's out there. Other than, you know, there's some interesting information about individuals that might have something to do with it, but it's kind of a simple case, really. We know that she made it home, and the part that then we don't really have any information. I mean, that's what makes it difficult,
Right.
I guess. But she makes it home,
Right.
and then about like 6:30ish, all of a sudden there's 911 calls, and things are in motion, and she's missing. So she went missing between 3 o'clock and 6:30, something like that, and the timeline in there we don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah. So.
Right. And I want to say this too. Like the day that my son passed away. So my son was 21, professional motocross racer. He was home at his personal private track with friends. And just low down on this. If you would have asked me the night of his accident, it was on a Friday. If that evening somebody would have asked me what happened earlier, where were you at? I have no freaking idea. I would have told you something completely wrong, and my emotions would have not matched my face, even though I just walked with his body down to the end of a hallway knowing that he's going to donate his organs. Walk outside, there's the press. I avoided them. They sat outside my house. They followed me around. I didn't talk to any of them. There's some things that need to be left private. What makes my relationship special with my son, I'm not giving to the public. They have enough of him. But 2 months after the funeral...
Were you the one that had to decide on the organs, or did he have that on his ID?
Yeah, his dad and I... Well, he had chosen to be an organ donor after we talked about it. He had chosen that. It was on his license.
Yeah.
But
well,
of his injuries...
When my brother died, they took my mom. Actually, he didn't have anything anything marked down. So that's what I always thought was so amazing. Is like I remember we were all just sitting there, and when I already knew that he wasn't alive, and then they showed up 2 hours later, and it just was horrible. Like to see her after she was told that he didn't live, but then we were sitting in this room, and then she actually signed all these papers to donate his skin, cornea, all these different things, and these two people can see now that couldn't see. That
Absolutely.
And what's kind of, I always think it's interesting is like he had cells in those cornea. So can he see? It's kind of weird. Like his cells are still alive in the cornea of these people. So it's kind of interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, my ex-husband and I sat, with the doctors, and his heart could not be used and his lungs could not be used because of the extent of his injuries. He had a crushing chest injury. But bones, ligament, tissue, a lot of skin went to the children's burn unit. We donated eyes, cornea. I mean, a lot of stuff.
That's
because
awesome.
At the end of the day, it was a very hard decision to do. I mean, I wanted him all together in one place, but he had made that decision as a grown, adult at 21. And I met the girl that has his eyes, and it was so beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know that a couple of bones went to a soldier that lost a leg, overseas. I mean, he's changing lives today, and that, to me, that's what matters. It's about changing lives today. That's why I love your channel. It's about changing lives today, leaving the world better than what it was when we were here. Breaks my heart to see, people jump on the parents. I mean, Cleo over in Australia, beautiful little girl in the same tent with her family, and was taken in the middle of the night. We're not talking about back in the 90s when Elizabeth Smart came up missing. I mean, yeah, those things apply, but like everybody, has a Ring camera on their house. Everybody has cameras and things like that. In the country, not so much. I mean, I notice a lot more crime, on kids happening in the country. I think that's why. I think Candus and Don are not the best parents. I think that they're a product of their growing up. Don very well could be just a monster who deserves a lot of, hate in prison. But I feel like in reference to Summer, I just hate everything that's being put on her at 5 years old when, we don't even know what happened yet. We don't even know what happened. But I applaud you and Chasing Both for just sticking to the facts, putting the facts out, not going down that road, not chasing the dollar sign, not making your channel all about, Summer. And I pray for her and her family, and I pray for Candus. I see the hurt in her eyes. I wish people, before somebody types in, I would do this, I would do that. This is what I would do. If you haven't been in this situation, just don't say it, because you don't know what you would do. I used to do that.
Well, it's always the moral superiority police, you know. Well, like people always say, why was she allowed to do this, or why would, you know? Well, who cares? You know, that part's it's already done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you don't judging something after the fact is just you trying to draw attention to yourself and make people think, wow, you are awesome, because I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, I can't stand that shit, man. It drives me batty.
Totally.
You know?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I was the last person to call my son. He was 15 miles away from home, and I called him just to say, are you coming home, or are you going to stay there and camp out? That was it. 5-minute conversation. Hung up the phone. He had, the accident happened, and he didn't survive. And because I wouldn't talk to the press, because I wouldn't answer everybody's questions, and because I wasn't getting the face that people wanted me to give, there were all kinds of rumors about that I didn't love my son, that I called him so that I would, interfere with his thought process, and he would crash and all this dumb shit. I said, say it to my face or don't say it at all, but they turn it into a slaughtering just to try to get a reaction out of me. They never got one. I did interviews with magazines by saying, send me the questions and I'll answer what I want. But, I feel bad. I feel terrible for Candus. I feel terrible for Don. But if they're terrible, disgusting people that have really done sexual assault things and have hurt their children, then they're pieces of shit. And that's when the angry mob should go after them.
You gotta go outside you gotta stand outside the house with a bullhorn and start yelling. It's really neat and cool.
Oh my!
Well, here's the thing, everybody. See, I always suffer. Like I actually suffer on building and getting subs on my channel because there'll be these, like Summer Wells, for example, or the case. Let's see, Brian Laundrie, right? Gabby Petito. I could have covered that every single day and just cornered the market on it, and just been, because the stuff that I was putting out at the beginning just blows away any of the other people. We actually narrowed down to the exact spot where they were going to find her vehicle in those circles. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it just blew away everybody. But the problem is I'm not one of those people. I don't go out and share it everywhere and do all this kind of stuff. And then you see all the Chris Watts wackos start taking over, and then I just go, forget it. I'm going to go back and start covering other cases now. And after a while, you almost get no subs at all because you're not in the algorithm, because you dropped out of the gold rush phenomenon of each case. So like in Summer Wells, I'm not following all of the little tiny rumor stuff going on, and I don't care really about that part. I really don't care. I just care about figuring out what happened to her. So I don't have content on Summer Wells the way I would want to do it, because I like to, use geo profiling, spaces, and map things out, figure stuff out, and we're kind of at a standstill right now. There's no new information, so I don't really have a way to keep covering it with let's see, ethically. I would feel like if I was continuing myself the way I cover cases, if I kept covering it, it would be unethical, and it would purely be for the views, because I know that if I get a Summer Wells video, I might have 9, 10, 12,000 views. If I cover the case of Angela Freeman, like I did last night, and none of you probably in here, maybe 5% of you in this chat watched it, but it was really an interesting case and a really beautiful song that her brother wrote, and none of you will see it because it doesn't have Summer Wells in the title.
Right, but you know what?
I feel like that's pretty sad.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, though. Those other channels that are still throwing out Summer Wells' name and Chris Watts' name, I got two things to say about that. One, that's why we were the channel that funded the Bibb County John Doe. That's why. That's what we're not doing the same stuff, but we're doing things in the community it might not be a big deal to somebody else, but I couldn't imagine not knowing if my brother or sister or son or parent was dead or alive. And so giving that back to a family means so much to me because I've dealt with loss like that.
No, I mean, it costs $8,000. Here's the thing. Well, here's the thing, everybody. See, the Bibb County John Doe was a huge thing in the true crime community because Jane and John Does are always in that same genre. And yet, that video, the press conference, all maybe has 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 views. That's what's so sad and disgusting to me because, like, all of these people in there, oh, yeah, they did Summer Wells. I got to watch Summer Wells. Where we did a 1961 John Doe that had been unidentified for 60 years, his location unknown by his family, and we funded it. Identifinders did all the, the hard work and did the genealogy and discovered who this guy was, Daniel Armentrout. And it turns out he had a family of 3 brothers, and another brother's even missing too because they all left an abusive house. Okay, the other brother is still alive, and he was so happy to actually have an answer. Okay, but instead there wasn't any YouTubers who even shared that we did that. How come? That should have been like this. Maybe 2 or 3, but it should have been a huge story. But people just don't care. It just doesn't. It's not their. It sucks.
They're not going to get anything off of it. They're not going to get anything off of it, and they're not going to give you the credit for it either.
And like in the DJ Ficky, look at that. But here's the other one too, the DJ Ficky case. It was a case where it was deemed a suicide by a shotgun blast to his face. Amanda, the sister, got a hold of me, and she sent me all of the information. I made a short video that just absolutely proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was not a suicide. At best, at worst, at best it would be a negligent homicide, and at worst a murder. Okay, so I put together the whole video. I sent it off to the medical examiner. He goes, wow, that's pretty interesting. And then he goes, well, I don't really know. So then I sent it to a detective. I said, listen, watch this thing. He watched it. And then a month later, my phone rings, and he goes, we've switched it to undetermined. He called me before the family. So those are 2 instances right there where we literally made a tangible difference as a channel in the world. And again, even that accomplishment right there, nobody mentioned it. It's weird, but they'll mention, ooh, did you see the video that the one guy? God, it actually makes me angry and disappointed.
The end result, here's what they're doing. When people say the name, so my son died in August of 2016. So Abby and Libby, February 2017. Here's what I noticed. When people would say bridge guy, everybody knew what case they were talking about. But after a period of time, Abby and Libby, people were like, wait, who's that? So what that taught me, what I took away from that was that my son had done some pretty great things while he was alive on Earth. I didn't want his death. I didn't want his life to become about his death. And so when people say Chris Watts, they know exactly what the hell you're talking about. But when they say Shanann, Bella, or Cece, there's people that today, almost 6 years later, that say, huh? Yeah. And they don't know. So people are so focused on the negativity and the drama and the crap. But what that does to families is the victims get lost in the mess. They get lost in the disaster. They get lost in the negative. And it's just disgusting what we're doing on Gray's channel. And it might not matter to anybody else, but it matters to me. I readjusted my budget in order to help support, and I always will.
Well, you don't have to do that, but
being a part.
Thank you.
Oh, I absolutely did, because it's important. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's not about Gray. It's not about all of the other members. It's about doing something that is always good and is bigger than what we are. There's strength in numbers. When we come as a group, Angela Freeman last night, all Gray said on his channel was, we really need to do something. And almost everybody in the chat, all the members were like, let us know what to do.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
So you guys should go watch that one.
That's what matters.
I mean, the thing is I'd like to know what the most effective thing to do, because that case, the sheriff and a detective investigator, they've already presented the case, gave it to the prosecutor. They're ready to put handcuffs on. The prosecutor goes, well, I just don't think there's enough. And this sucker for 28 years has been walking around, and he did it. There's no doubt about it. I don't have any doubt that boyfriend killed her. She was 17, 4 months pregnant, runs into, goes to, sees him over at a Pizza Hut at 1:30 in the morning. She disappears, and they find her car by a river, and she's never been found since. It's really, and he was dating,
and it's sad,
and he was dating
we'll
somebody else. He was dating somebody else too. So it's like he had a motive. He didn't want to have a kid. It just really sucked. But anyway,
I picture that girl as my daughter, my sister, and the thought of this person who allegedly murdered her, walking around having a family, having children. She lost her family and her unborn child, and it enrages me. And I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? And it really changes your focus. And the drama, like, forget it. People that are smearing our channel, in my opinion, they troll because they're jealous of what we're doing. So rather than being a part of it, rather than coming together and being a part of it and helping, let them go troll. Let them troll.
Well, I know that I'm not smooth. I know sometimes I'm not smooth, and I can be an ass or whatever. It's just kind of what it is. If you don't like me, don't watch. If you do, you do. But we're trying to do good. Just like on this channel here, we're trying to put out factual information on cases to make a difference. Try to get some stuff done. So. Anyways, well, listen, I got one more.
We're gonna get it done.
I got one more caller over here. The lines are back open if anybody wants to call in, but I've got this, Mary's on hold over here. She's been on hold for a long time, but well, thank you for calling in.
Turn your YouTube off whenever you call in.
That's
Turn your
right.
YouTube off and just talk on your phone like a regular phone call, and it works. All right.
Yeah.
See you, freaks, and I missed seeing Chasing. I got scared for a few minutes, but everybody have a great night. And come over to Grace Channel tonight.
Well, she had a good reason. She had a good reason to leave, but I can't say what it is. All right, you guys.
Yeah, I hope everything's okay.
All right. See you. Okay.
All right, take care. Love you. Bye.
Bye. All right, Mary. Hello, Mary. What's going on, Mary?
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, actually. I talked to you there about 2 weeks ago.
I remember talking to you.
Yes, I'm here from Ireland. And actually, I'm so delighted to be on at this time of the day. It's only 10:30 here at night. Normally you're on in the middle of the night, and I always catch you on replay, so it's very seldom I get you live. It's hard to be after Steph there. I could listen to her. She's a rock of sense, but your cynicism is definitely shining through tonight with regard to a lot of the theories that are being put forward.
Well, it's just hard for me. Like sometimes when people, they have this really well-developed theory, but it was started off with something that wasn't even verified, then it's hard to, that's hard to keep going, because then it's like, wow, we're so far away from anything.
But just this Summer Wells case, I mean, I did put up in chat there with John. To me, what's interesting is what's not known. Nobody knows what Grandis knows, or the grandmother. Nobody knows what the boys saw or what they have said. And the local, LE, we call it local enforcement, whatever, law, keeps saying they actually have ruled out abduction, and yet everybody, it's all these theories are being put forward as though they're factual. Anybody who's mentioned in connection, I think if you were the postman, you could be, and said you delivered a letter on the day, suddenly, they'll be accused of doing something. But there's an awful lot of rumor around it. And there's very few facts. I think you've mentioned that yourself. Part of it in my own head, the first thing I thought of was she wandered off. It to me, looking at the landscape, looking at where it was, I know the parents are saying, oh, she'd never leave the yard. We all know 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds. You'll say, don't do something, and they will do it. So it often dawned on me, I would have said, first thing, she wandered off. Now, did she meet somebody, wrong place, wrong time? Did something happen after that? Possibly. it's also interesting that today the sheriff came out again and asked people to search their property, search their yards, search all around. And I just wonder how good was the searching done within a 2-3 mile. Look at that young fella that wandered off. Was it 2 or 3? He was found 2 or 3 miles away.
Yeah.
So young people, they can wander. I had a younger sister.
I think it was
once
5. I think that kid went 5 miles. And
5 miles.
Yeah.
So like they can be gone and go. So that could have easily happened. So that was my first thing. If it was an abduction, it was planned, it was known. That seems not real in my mind. Again, and if it was an accident in the home, the brother did something, the grandmother did something, Candus did something, getting rid of the body. Like, where is it? And the timelines in that don't pan out. And I'm not saying, as I've always told my friends, if you ever want to hide a body, come to me. But the whole point there is that why would you even ring 999, for example, at 6:30 or 5:30, if they were actually, getting rid of a body or something? I don't know. Some of that just does not make a lot of sense to me. The parents, it's an extremely dysfunctional family. There's no ifs or maybes about it.
Well, I think they might get rid of the body if, they've already been investigated by CPS, and it would have been deemed, like if you had Summer on the property and she died by being injured by some object that's on the property, or the swing, or those stairs that go down, because it's just not really safe, they might have thought, oh, we're going to get blamed for it. We're going to lose our kids too, and
Timeline doesn't lend itself for getting rid of the body. No,
it easily does. Yeah. No, all they'd have to do is leave. There's no timeline really. I mean, there isn't really a timeline that's nailed in. So at 5:30, hell, 4:45, she could have found Summer, and went, oh my God, and and the kids are playing video games. Talk to Candus, and then she goes, you got to do something. And she just drives 10 miles away, puts her 20 feet into the woods, gets back in the car, drives 20 miles, maybe not 10 miles away, so about 30 minutes. You're back, and then you start saying, okay, then about 6 you start calling Dawn, and then you call 911, and then all you do is just leave that part out of the story, and the rest of it's all real. Yeah.
I think if that was the case, the law enforcement would know it by now, because they'd have batted out the boys would have known.
The what? Well, maybe no, because they're playing video games, right? Like, so they might be completely unaware of what happened. They remember her going downstairs, then something happened to her outside. Candus goes over and finds her, tells, and says, hey, don't say anything. Hey, but look what happened. And then they come up with a plan. She drives her away, comes back, and then acts like with the kids that she's just missing.
I wonder.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
There's theory. I just wonder, can both Candus and her mother, would they be able to sustain that?
Maybe, but I mean, it's easy because all you're doing is just leaving out a little thing. Everything else is correct. You just leave that part out, and then notice that she's not around anymore to accidentally say the wrong thing.
Yeah, but even her going, the grandmother going, that was planned. I mean, there were certain things that's known, and it was known that she always leaves at that time of the year. She always goes, comes back, and all of that. That's been said by quite a lot. I thought in the first 2 weeks, the whole thing around the footprints, I know Chasing said it there 2 days ago. I had seen it at the time as well. Those were neighbours. They had no reason to lie about it. There were searchers, some dogs, the whole thing about the scent. Again, that's information that's coming through when the searches were taking place. And that, I suppose, lends me to believe more that she left the property herself.
Yeah, she could have just wandered off too. Right?
Sometimes it's the obvious. unfortunately, I think if a person came online and listened, and particularly maybe to Jason, because she has gone into it in a lot of detail yourself, you'd be looking at it in a more factual basis. But by God, this so-called, and I'm saying so-called, true crime community, because it's they don't really care. It's all about themselves. They're quite it's quite disgusting, actually. A lot of the things that are going on around this case. You know, the snails are out from under the rocks or whatever, and how they're you know, it's this ownership. It's like everyone has suddenly claimed this ownership of a poor child, but it's very self-promoting more than anything else.
Yeah.
The so-called hangers-on, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you got these people, they pretend that they're just so, and then they'll talk about everything but Summer, and at the very end they just say, we just want justice for Summer. Yeah, no, you don't, dude. You don't want justice for all.
Absolutely.
You've got your little, I call it sub-mining. It's like, I compare it to the gold rush where, you know, these gold miners, you know, you got these cases and, you know, you bring in a little bit of gold, and then these really big cases come along on the internet, like Summer Wells, Gabby Petito, and then all these people, they'll create a channel. Like these people, I'm going to Alaska to find my plot of gold. So they all start their own channel. They run over there, and then you got these channels that get pretty big, so they get their sleuth box in there, and they got that sleuth box running 24 hours a day, churning out 9-hour live streams, a video a day on a case where there's almost no new information. They'll just keep going and going and going because people show up and they feel like it's their gold rush, and they will not stop until every last grain of gold is panned from that stream.
I know.
There you go.
It's horrible. It's horrible. However, there is a child missing, unfortunately. You'd love to see a conclusion, you know, one way or the other, because I suppose it's one of those. Will it be looked at again in 10 years, or unless something else comes up? It creates a lot of fear as well, I think, in people. The whole idea that a child can be abducted or, you know, goes missing, and it feeds into that fear, you know, that people have. But I hope it is solved. I hope it is solved soon. And as for Dr. Phil, I can't stand him, actually, to be perfectly honest. I don't really watch much television. And the corn-fed, or whatever you call it, cornbread mafia, yeah. Guilty knowledge, whatever. I mean, look at, I watched it. The only thing I can see is a woman that was just, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think she was just at the end of her tether. She's under pressure. There's an awful lot of pressure being put on them as parents. And I totally agree with Steph. There's something not right there as parents, you know, both Don and Candus. And I'd say they're answerable for a lot. Whether they're answerable for Summer's disappearance, I'm not sure. So that's it. Greg, thank you very much.
Well, hey, thank you for calling in. I think there is a possibility. I always said that would be, you know, secondary to her being found alive. The second best option would be, using the word best sucks. I just mean would be that she wandered off and accidentally fell into some hole somewhere, and then she's found, and then it'll just be like all this stuff that everybody was saying. It was just this weird dream that should never have happened because it was all fake, every bit of it.
There's a level of judgment. I find this. I find it quite amazing with people. People are very quick to judge, but the level of judgment is based on, if that was my child, you know, I would do X, Y, and Z. That's, you know, biggest load of nonsense, to be perfectly honest.
I can't stand it.
Nobody knows. I think Steph says nobody knows how they will be or how they would react.
Are you familiar with the Delphi case at all?
Do you know what? I have been.
Okay, well, that I've
And I
covered.
want to go
You need to go back and watch all of my ones that I did on it. Okay.
I've been trying to.
Right.
I've been trying to. There's enough. I'm in the process of moving house, and I'm a full-time
Oh, you got
worker.
that'll kill a lot of your hours right there. But anyways,
Yeah.
I was going to say that in that case, you know, the girls went out to this bridge, walked across,
Yeah.
and on the other side of the bridge, they filmed the killer coming towards them, and he says some words, and that's all caught on film. But they've never arrested the guy. They don't know who the hell he is. Maybe they do, but anyways, people would say, you always get these people that call in and go, why would their parents let them go out there? Sure. Who gives a shit? What does that matter now? Like it's so dumb. It's like you run out of stuff and then you say that. Well, it's a small town. People went there all the time. They went to the bridge all the time. Why not think, how was there a psycho out there that day? That should be the question, not why did the parents let them go there. It has nothing to do with anything. People just want to virtue signal and let everybody know how they wouldn't have let their kid go there. Therefore, their kid would have been alive right now. It's just stupid. God, I can't stand it.
It is, and it's a horrible. I think it's a horrible reflection on a lot of people, actually, and a lot of in society. But I could get that's another conversation for another time. But it is a very bad reflection on a lot of people that come on YouTube or the internet. The internet is fantastic. Otherwise, we'd never be talking in a month of Sundays. We wouldn't, this is where it's quite fantastic. It does get information out, but people, look, at common sense is not that common. We know that.
No.
There's a lot of people are very quick to rush to judgment. People should, and make assumptions. But what I can't really get even now is, why are people not actually looking at the facts, looking at the actual information, and using their common sense? But they take one small snippet and suddenly, the mouse starts off at one end of the street, and by the time it's at the other end, it's an elephant, and that goes on.
But it's possible, right? Like if an alien came down and took that mouse and injected it with some sort of ray beam that had genetics of an elephant in there, and then they have this special growing beam too, could it possibly then have turned into an elephant?
Well, maybe it did. Maybe
that's the thing. But see, that's the thing, is people literally, like in the Brian Laundrie case, they were actually believing that a hand was coming out of the flower bed, and the mom handed him something.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, but the problem is there's people that actually took a moment to analyze it. What are you doing, people? That's where common sense is just.
But I know there are a lot of children missing, right? And again, my understanding is that of all the children that go missing, for example, in a year, the majority have been taken by family members, and the majority are actually found. But there's one child missing or abducted is one child too many. We know that.
Yeah.
But in all of the cases, you'll get the statistics will turn around and say there are X thousands, gone missing this month. But actually, out of that 1,000, there's probably even 10 to 20 that are stranger abduction. The majority is family, all of that. So there's a lot of fear that is in people. And I don't know whether we're in a society now whereby, the generation of fear obviously, suits some people, but we're living in a fearful society, and I really dislike that. I grew up in the country. I am from Ireland, right? I still would probably leave my doors; they're never locked, and there's things like that. But I know people who will say, "Oh, I can't let my child go for a walk," and I'm there going, "Why not?" They'll get abducted. I was going, tell me when there was a child abducted, where we live.
Yeah.
Never. And yet they could be looking at some, they get caught up in moments. But anyway, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on.
Well, thanks for calling in. It's always good listening to you.
I really enjoy the factual. I like a proper analysis, I must say.
Well, good. Glad you like
So,
that.
thank you.
You're a rare person.
Take care.
All right.
And sure, if you're ever in Ireland, give us a shout.
Okay. Have a good one. Caller?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you. I've been to Ireland, actually. I lived in well, I didn't live somewhere. I was there for 10 days, but we stayed in Killarney. That was the coolest town I've ever seen. Unbelievable. I could live there. So, anyways, you guys, I think that's going to do it. I know we didn't really get to many people calling in or specifically about the show, but at least people called in. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. But when you call in, just make sure to not have the video playing. I guess what makes it hard is when you're in the waiting room, there's no audio from the show. So I think with that new pinning mode, though, that I was just using, that if you call in, it would make it so that you could still listen, and I'll have you on mute until I give you permission to be unmuted. So we'll probably do this again at some point. And it would have been, Chasing had to go. If she was here, it obviously would have been better because she knows so much more of the little details here and there. I just know that sort of the macro view, the main points, and it would have taken some pressure off of me, And I find it strange that people that come in and they judge things that you're saying without really thinking about it. And it sort of always throws me off when you get people that just, I don't have any more respect for you, Greg, because you said, right? And I'm going to say it again, everybody. I'm going to do it again because I'm not afraid to say what I said. Here's what I said. First of all, it's okay to use the term sexual assault on a show. It's not triggering to anybody because if you say SA, they know what that means, so wouldn't that be triggering too? It's actually what it's called. I don't think people should dumb it down by calling it SA because one YouTuber thought it was cool to say that and wanted to start a movement of some kind. I didn't understand it. The second one was, if you have a person who is sexually assaults kids, and every one of their victims is somebody not related to them, it's still possible, and not even like you could even say it's likely that they could also assault a child of their own. It's just not as likely. It would be more likely that they would do it to one of their own children if they had done it to one of their own biological sisters. Like, let's say he was 15 and had a 5-year-old sister. If he had assaulted in that situation, I think it'd be much more likely that he would do it to his own child. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know why that makes somebody... I'm not saying it's not possible, because we see that all the time, that parents will assault their own child, okay? But step parents are way more likely to assault their own child than a biological parent. Doesn't that make sense to everybody? So I don't know why you can't say stuff like this without people getting upset because it doesn't fit in. Like if something happened to them when they were a kid and it was like their own parent, they make it sound like what I'm saying is that it's impossible. It's not what I said at all. I'm talking about likeliness and the odds, okay? So just try to pay attention sometimes instead of overreacting with your it's almost like an attitude. It's really weird, All right, so anyways, you guys, I think that's going to do it. Hopefully Chasing gets through. So, she's sick right now again with her voice and stuff going on. So I'm sure we'll be able to find some time soon to come back on, all right? And let's see. I kind of lost the screen that had the... Let me see if I can find it really quick. And don't forget to hit that like button really quick. And hit the dislike button if you want. But unfortunately, that's going away, so it won't make you feel good. Like there won't be a neato feeling you get when you click on the dislike button. I always thought that was strange. Like when we funded the solving of the Bibb County John Doe, I went to the show afterwards and had 15 dislikes. What moron would dislike giving a name back to somebody after 60 years? You ever wonder about that? Yeah, look in the mirror sometimes, people. Look in the mirror. All right, here we go. I'm going to... Oh, there it is. Trying to find the donations. So there it is. Thank you to Mama She 13, JSD, Mama 13, Mama 13, Candalee Woodward Stone, Matt Pavia, Lucky Charm 69, LM, Georgina Stoliker, Matt Pavia, Kristen Cure, Matt Pavia, Mama She 13, Darlene Brown, Charleston Amy, Kristen Cure, and Mama She 13 again. And I'll be doing my show later too, probably at like 7 or not 7, like 6 o'clock. If I have time, I gotta go look some stuff up. This went longer than I was thinking, but all right, everybody, thank you all for being here. We'll see you on another show, and I hope that it runs a little smoother next time. But it wasn't too bad, right? Had a crazy call with a whack job in the background, screaming weird stuff. The rest of the callers, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Steph May with her wisdom and the... I forgot, what was the lady's name at the end there? Hey, Dennis, we got to talk one of these days again. I got to hear all about that Fort Worth stuff. That's pretty cool. You should call me up sometime. Or, when you do stuff like that. I want to know about it. You might even come on in the show and tell us about it. All right. See you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And what does she say? Oh, love you so much. There you go. Love you so much. I can't do it. Okay, I can't do it. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And, be safe out there. Here we go. That dang blue. So mean. A legend.